I'm Bree Drapa. I am from the Westford Public Library. So can I get a show of hands of people who operate in a library of one? Me too. Okay, so for my fellow one-person libraries, this is for you. But also for my other multiple people libraries you can listen to. Okay, so we do, as libraries, we do a lot with a little. I think no matter if you have a staff of 1 or a staff of 10 or a staff of 20, you're operating on a limited budget. We all wish we could have more money. So I'm going to first give a small, brief presentation on bulking up your summer program with free offerings. So these offerings are completely free, and they look like they cost a lot. So we're going to talk about a couple of things, and I brought some stuff here that you can come look at, and then we're going to move on to the next table, which is the school age programs. So I thought it was important to introduce some exciting and free things. Okay, the first thing I'm talking about, if you have not heard of or in...
Oh, it likes to stop. It likes to just really stop.
No, it's good. It's fine. I was trying to use the laser pointer because it's fancy. If you've not heard of an organization called Bedtime Math, you need to put them on your radar. Bedtime Math is a fantastic way for you to augment your summer program with math. There has just been just as much research on reading, loss of reading during the summer slide as loss of math skills. And some people argue that loss of math skills or being proficient in math skills actually is more important than being proficient in reading. Now, because we're libraries, but I also like math. So, married to an engineer, I've got some very mathy kids, and so I wanted to introduce you to this. Bedtime Math runs something they call the Summer of Numbers, and so the Summer of Numbers is a math log for your kids. They range in age, they have levels of math from preschool up through 5th grade. So 3 and 4-year-olds all the way to the 5th grade of math. So definitely in that school age category. Bedtime Math posts a new math problem every night on their website. It's also an app, and you can enter an email address so that it can be emailed to your home. They also have books. So if you say to someone, someone's like, I don't want my kid going on an app. They have books, and you can buy them. They have 3 of them. And you can do a math page out of there every night. The premise of Bedtime Math Summer of Numbers is you get a log like this. You put stars. There's several copies in your folders. You get a sheet of stickers. You put a sticker every time you do a problem, and you fill up the night sky. For my kids during summer reading, if they bring this back complete, they get an extra raffle ticket in the summer reading raffle. Now, you used to be able to buy these through Collaborative Summer Reading website. They're not on there anymore. Okay? Oh, they now have the ones that you can print out right from the Bedtime Math site. So that has taken this away. It's free. If you have a color printer, they have a color printer option. You got the black and white one because Cass was like, that uses a lot of ink. And I agree. If you have old ones, just recycle your old ones. Hand them out. They look a little bit more slick than the ones you print out yourself. And you're like, but I don't have cool star stickers. Sure you do. Okay? You can buy these off Amazon. They're like an add-on, $2 or whatever, or at your local supply store so that you can light up the night sky with stars. You have a handout all about this in your folder, as well as a sample reading thing. And I have some brochures because I love Bedtime Math. I love the organization. I think they do great things. Okay, so that's that. End of summer reading. Okay. Bedtime Math also operates a after-school club, math club called Crazy Eights. Also completely free. They send you big boxes, nice box with material. It's already in there for you. Like they send you all your supplies. If you need straws, they send straws. If you need paper cut out, it's already cut out. And it's in an envelope that has the week. Completely free. So just check out Bedtime Math. There's no post-grant reporting either. So for you people libraries who, have a lot to do already, you don't really have to do much except for fill out a form and be a little crazy and put on an after-school math program. You can't do it during the summer. That's the only thing Crazy Eights is not allowed to operate during the summer. They have some rules and parameters. But you have Summer of Numbers to do. So you might also have other math-type books that you can, point towards kids. If you have 5th graders who are really mathy and they say, those problems are too easy, you can hand them something like this. This is Perfectly Perilous Math, like how to, outwit zombie apocalypse with algebra and different things. So it's by Sean Connolly. He has several others too. So I think it's just another way of encouraging kids to do something with their brain over the summer. So I brought along, here's their, I just explained that. So I'm going to give Cass these slides too, so I have the links there that you can get to all of these things as well. So the big change is they're not in the Collaborative Summer Library Program catalog anymore, so you're going to have to print them out on your own or get them printed. Also in the manual, there are reproducibles. In the school age section, there's Bedtime Math reproducibles. So all you have to do is, in the index, is look at Bedtime Math, and there's different reproducibles that you can hand out if you do a takeaway from a story time or from or you just have a display out of math books. You can have some worksheets for kids to take away too. If you have kids who don't have internet access, it's another great way of putting the problems into their hands. You could make packets out of those reproducibles. Okay, so here's a sample problem. I hope you guys brought your thinking caps. Okay, I'll let you guys read that. I hear you're good at reading. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. We all read at different rates. Just with the reading. Can I use you as one of my helpers for this one? Okay, so we have a wee ones. This is our preschool and kindergarten math. Okay, if you have 6 ducks, what numbers would you say to count them? Do you want to count my fingers and pretend they're ducks?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Excellent.
She can do the second one too.
Overachiever here. Okay, proud mama. Okay, if you have 9 small ducks and 2 giant ones, how many do you have in total? So if we have 9, we add 1 and 2. Oh yeah, you have 2 ducks and I have 9 ducks. How many ducks do we have?
Now I'll have to count it with my nose.
Yeah. Oh, count with your nose. Okay.
9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Perfect. Okay, good job. So this is, depending on where kids are, they suggest it for anywhere from 1 to 3. And then for big kids, how many years has Charlotte been collecting ducks? And we would do some subtraction of 1996 to our current year. Would anyone like to give us some news?
Well, I think new math free, you'd actually.
Oh, add this to 2000. Yes.
Yes.
Bridget, I enjoy your strategy. I have a different one that I might use, which involves subtraction, but I approve of yours. So, yes, the new math that encourages many different ways to solve those problems. And so I, using Bridget's method, would add 4 to 1996, making it 2000 plus 18. 4 plus 18 is 22. Woo! Okay. And what I love about this is that oftentimes there will be another one that says the sky's the limit will pop up, and that's for the parents. And I've had to do double equation algebra with my kids, and they're like, whoa! And I'm like, I know, Mom's smart. Okay, so it's fun for the whole family. It is something to add to their bedtime routine. Okay, going a little bit more advanced here, but not too much more. It's totally fine. I have 3 of my own kids, so this is just like add her in the mix. Another thing that last year I added to my summer reading program that is also completely free is Google CS First. So Google runs a CS computer science coding club for kids. It's coding in the computer language known as Scratch. So if you have ever used or done any kind of block and build coding, they almost look like commands or like puzzle pieces, and you fit them together. If kids have been introduced to any computer coding in school, they have been introduced to Scratch. Students in Westford start learning Scratch in 3rd and 4th grade. So for me, it was a lovely marriage of the knowledge that they had and my summer program. I have kids who don't like reading, but they love coding. And so it was something else to offer to these kids. Now, do I know how to program in Scratch? No, not really. But I have resources at my library, like these very inexpensive, great DK books. DK, we love them anyway. They do a lot of publications. They have coding projects in Scratch. They have coding games in Scratch. This is like, well, it's list price $19.99, but we never pay that at libraries. So you can get these books for under $20. They're really fun. They have lots of cool projects that kids can work on. Okay. What is this? Well, it introduces computer science to kids. All you have to do is create a Google account. Many of you probably already have one for your libraries. And you can sign up to be a Google CS location. You sign up yourself to be a teacher or a mentor, as they like to say. And everything in this is taught through videos. So once you sign up, once you get your materials, they give you a code. That was our club code for last year. Kids come to you, they say, oh, I really want to do this. You're like, great, here's passport. You kind of walk them through it. Here's our club code. Here's how you get on it. Go! And they learn by watching short 3 to 5 minute videos on the computer. They're taught by people who work at Google, sometimes by adults, sometimes by kids, sometimes by teens. There's always a tie-in. There are different themes. There's one on music and sound. Ooh, we did music and sound. We did one on sports last year and also art. There was something for everyone. Music and sound is the easiest program that they offer. There are different levels, so there's about 12 different themes. You might know your kids in your community and say, like, they would love this theme. Okay, I picked these for the kids in our group in my community. But they go through, watch a series of videos. They create a project. This is all on an account that they've created that you can see as the administrator because you have the dashboard. So you can see that they've completed it. Not like when they come back to the library and they say, I did activity 1, 2, 5, 7, and 10. And you're like, I'm checking. You only did 1. Nice try. But with each, it's like a passport. So with each activity they complete, they get these cool stickers that you can pass out to them. They can put on their passport, and they feel a great sense of accomplishment for this. Now, they will get stuck. They'll have problems, but we're trying to cultivate an engineering mindset with this. You know, and so what I also did was Thursday nights are kind of slow at my library. So every Thursday night we had collaborate in code. And it was just a time where the computers, we only have 3 public access computers. We're not talking like huge resources here. We had 3 computers dedicated to this, open to this. You want to come collaborate in code? Great. Maybe have 3 kids show up that day. And they would be like, And that could be like, oh, you just need to click this button and do this and that, and now you're done. And they're practicing what they're going to do later in collaborative work environments. I think that's really where we're going. They're learning to work with others, they're making new friends, they're whatever. And they're not bugging me about it because I was like, I don't know. But if you are one of those people that has to know, they send solution sheets. You have the answers. I never told my kids I had these. Never once pulled it out and never needed to because they worked with each other. And if kids got tired of coding, as people in real life get tired of coding, I had the Kiva blocks set up, I had the straws and connectors, I had the Lego challenge or whatever. Each week I kind of changed what they could work on to kind of free their mind space and then go back. Or if I had more than 3 kids show up, I'd be like, why don't you build me an awesome Kiva tower for half an hour while he does that or she does that. I had about 15 kids sign up for that. Many of them did it just at home. Never came to collaborate in code, but I had a group that came to collaborate in code. I had a couple of parents who thought it was really cool, and they did it with their kids. So, I don't know. I'd like to say maybe our Collaborate in Code helped our town's robotics team just win an international competition involved coding, but I don't have as many data points as Abby did for that with reading. But it's another option for kids, and it's completely free. They send you all this stuff, and all you have to do is be crazy enough to put it in the hands of kids. Yeah. Any questions?
What age kids were?
Okay, what age kids? This was, they market it or advertise it kind of to 4th grade and up. So I had some kids who were entering into 4th grade who did it. I had some little sisters who figured it out with those older brothers. So, this is certainly not beyond the realm of like a 2nd grade precocious child. But I think it was a great way to bring some of those 7th and 8th graders, at least into the library initially, and give them something to do at home that was not play video games, but it was still interactive and on the computer. There's an aspect of this too that they can share within your collaborative community, so you can see what other people are doing. You don't have to, and none of it is name-based. It's all your screen name or whatever is like jellyfish 62, and you're like, I don't even like jellyfish, but that's whatever. That's what you're stuck with. It's not like you can figure out whose project is whose unless they put something in there that really identifies them. So I'm going to do it again. I loved it. It was just something more to add to my community. And I had a lot of people who even weren't parents that were like, oh, you're so smart and techie. And I'm like, But you have to just offer these alternative opportunities. Summer reading, while it says reading, I believe is not just about reading. There's a lot of other parts of the brain that can benefit from practice over the summer.
Bree, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Sam from Rockingham Public Library showed us this something similar. It is the Google CS First coding, and they had what was it, a guitar, like an electronic guitar?
Yep.
That you could make. Is that what you have?
These are all different projects.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's just very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. It's kind of fun. It's kind of game. It leads to other avenues. Maybe they'll want to check out that book and sit there. Maybe they're just copying coding, but they're coding, which is like way cool to do. So think of it as their first step on their path to becoming some kind of giant tech mogul, and they will give the library billions of dollars.
Just like Mr. Monticello.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all the information that I just talked about. And you can be as involved or hands-off as you want. Maybe you have a parent or community member who wants to take this on. But honestly, you don't need to know how to code. You just need to give the kids the opportunity to soar and they'll fly. Okay. Fits well with the theme. We talked about that. Okay. Okay. rock and so do you, yay. There's my information, Cass will have this. Please feel free to call me. I'm only at the library Wednesday through Saturday. One of those great, not open all the time, one-person libraries, but you can do amazing things. Okay, so that's the end of that presentation, and I'm going to switch gears and go to... You put your mouth. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, well, this is a fun game. Guess what's under the box? Okay, summer reading. So, this year's theme we all know is libraries rock, and it's music and sound theme. I am one of the least musical people that I know, and I know a lot of people. And so, I'm very comfortable singing in front of children, and I can do all that, but I don't have the nice rhythmic stuff that Abby had. So I was trying to come up with this. Everyone's community is so different. You might have a community of musicians. You might be musical yourself. You might be playing the guitar during story time and all of that. Well, that's not me. We don't have scarves and sticks, and we bang on the floor a lot, but that's about it. And so I thought we would think outside the rocks, and I came up with some rock-themed school-age activities for kids. So the first thing that is fun is panning for gold. Okay, what child doesn't dream of going to the Klondike and being a prospector? That gold rush is all the Discovery Channel is these days is they find gold. There's all those gold rush shows and everything. So there's gold fever certainly still around. We did panning for gold activity, and all I did was go get a whole bunch of rocks from our parking lot and and like the ditch, and I spray painted them gold. So we're talking low cost here. A can of spray paint. And then it got to be like, whoa, Bree, what else can we spray paint gold? We spray painted some Legos, and now they're like the best Legos ever because they're not blue or red, they're gold. And had a bit of gold fever for a while in the library. So panning for gold, you just get some play sand or sand from your town maintenance guys or whoever, some sand from wherever you want to get it, and you put it in a kiddie pool, and you hide a whole bunch of gold in there, okay? You could also do this with dinosaurs. You could do it with those glass shells or marbles or whatever you might have. And then we used pie plates, which I get donated from our local market that does takeout in pie plates. You could punch holes in them to make sieves and swoosh. For a while with this project, we had a dry dig, but it wasn't really fun. It was hot, it was summer, so we added some water, and there was really like slooshing action, and then it was outside. You could do this. I would not be opposed to doing this inside my library on tarps, but that's just me. I'm crazy. And so I can see this kid. Well, you can't because the lighting is weird, but he's so happy he has a tray of gold. And you can see these are not like little kids. This attracted a large, boys! Boys came! Boys! Oh my goodness. You know, those are like 3rd grade boys. They're coming to the library. And then they're going to code later. Yeah. And then, you know, we let some little kids go too. We had 2 pools set up. And one kind of just gravitated towards being a younger kid space, and one just kind of gravitated being an older kid space. It was really not planned that way. But everyone came away with gold, and we had a lot of extra gold, because parents are like, we're not taking home, like, you know, I made a lot. This like pillowcase full of rocks to our house, and I was like, oh, we can leave some. And then I do, in summer reading, every time the kids come in, I hide something in the library. And that's theme-wise, so this year I have like a rock and roll trophy, like it's someone who, I don't know, it's a really corny trophy, someone like playing the guitar from like a thrift shop. And I hide it, and it moves every Saturday morning, so if you come to the library, you know, you find it in a different spot. And if you find the trophy, you get a prize from the prize bucket. And it's just kind of that like junk that people don't like in their house. But I mean, like sticky guys or bouncy balls. I have kazoos in there this year for the theme. The gold was a big hit, even though we had panned for it and everyone had it already. The gold was like the prize so I threw extra gold in there. Okay, so that is panning for gold. So all you need is play sand, rocks, gold spray paint, water, a kiddie pool or two, and space. Pie pans, strainers, whatever you've got, use it. It's fun, it's inexpensive, and messy, which to me is the best kind of library program. I'm one of those people that uses glitter. Okay, so, and then I thought, okay, that's rocks. What else? Rockets. Rockets. And so I have brought a demonstration of 4 different kinds of rockets that you can make with kids in various levels of challenges. Simple, intermediate, not so hard, and out of this world. Oh, that's so fun. I thought I'd get more laughs with this one. Okay, so let's go with the first one. This is as simple as you can get in your folder. It's in your folder. There's an activity. This is from PBS Kids, something called Blast Off with Curious George. PBS Kids has a lot of great information, a lot of simple projects. You could do this as just leave out a bunch of material and not even have it as a program. You could do this as a activity for little kids. You could make it more challenging with older kids. But this is simply a rocket with Curious George on it, on a milkshake straw, inside another straw. I like the ones that bend. Okay? It's so simple, but it's so fun. You could then put some masking tape on the carpet and you could do rocket races. You could add flair to your rocket. They suggest adding paper clips to your rocket to see what happens. You can have these conversations about force, mass, weight, gravity, with any age, depending on if you want to do this for older kids. You could measure. You could find the angle. You could do a lot of different things with this. And I'm sure you can think of many amazing books that you could add this. This also has the video. I'm not opposed to showing videos to my kids. During story times, I do like that safe YouTube. I've had several hilarious, in my mind, problems where something inappropriate has come up, or the kids are like, I'd rather look at that Minecraft ad that's on the side. So I have a handout for you. There's lots of, and then I have some supplies, so if you want to and make one yourself, you can. Don't use mine because it's got my germs on it. That's another thing with straws you have to point out. So, woo! Okay. So that's really, really simple, and that can be done with preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, as is. Okay. But you can make it more complicated. I lost them. Okay, here's where we get. So those of you that are in VTLIB STEM, who's anyone in VTLIB STEM? I see Kathy, Ian. Oh, good. Some other future VTLIB STEMers. If you don't know what it is, you will at some point. But anyway, this is lifted right from that. This is a 1-liter air-powered bottle rocket. Sounds really fun. Woo! It is, okay? Same basic concepts. You are, again, making a rocket. I made mine really plain, but you could add feathers. You could add wings. You could print out different things for the kids to color and paste on here. You want to put, Elon Musk's car on there and make SpaceX. You can have a rocket man, in space. You can bring in a lot of different applications to this. Very simple. You could raid your recycling bin at home and find stuff for that. So all you need is 2 different widths of straw. I love these milkshake straws, that's what they're called. Also, if you participate in Bedtime Math, they send you always more supplies than you need. So this was from our pan flute making, Bedtime Math, and look, I have extras. So I keep everything and use it again. But that is this. Also, for some applications, you could change the bottle size to make this for older kids. We could figure out the volume. It's written on there, but you could figure out the volume. You could change the design. You could add weights. You could use measuring tapes and other tools. So what I did to make this is I drilled through the cap, like with the power drill, and put in a straw, taped it to make it airtight. If you feel nervous about using power tools around children, I hear you. I hear you. I have 3 of my own kids. No one's lost an eye or a finger yet, but it can happen. You can do the exact same thing. Instead of drilling through, you can use clay on the cap with a straw poked through it. So modeling clay, Play-Doh, goo, whatever you have, you could do that. So that's kind of a more intermediate rocket. Anyone? I keep losing this remote. Okay.
Okay, this is where.
Okay, well, I will.
Computer only likes me.
Oh.
And does like me.
Okay, well, let me go on. Well, Cass works on getting that going. Okay, so you know how everything is new that was old is new again? Records, all those retro things. Oh, good. We're moving back up. Perfect. Okay, so this is not so hard. This is a pulley rocket. Would anyone like to come up and help me by holding this? Thanks, Kathy. Oh, my neighbor in Milton. No, hold the top. Okay, so this is just a pulley rocket. Okay, simple concept. Pulley rocket. You just pull on the strings and it goes up. Okay, it's not actually a pulley, which made me kind of mad. Okay, Kathy, you're not done with you yet. Okay, here's another version. So this, my grandfather, when I was 5, made this toy for me, which I still keep. And I pulled this out the other day, and my 12, 10, and 6-year-old children were mesmerized by this. They were like, what? It's a string and it moves, so. Okay, you pull on it, and through friction and other fantastic things, it goes up. This is the same concept. Okay, I am going to, no, it goes down. You know, when you see like races, I was thinking of putting these on like a big board with tacks and or you know nails, and you could have races with your rockets after you did them. See, it's cool. They're entranced by something like. You want to play with this? You can take it back there and play with mommy. Yeah, you can take it back there. I just need it back because it's like precious. Okay, so no, go back. So if you don't have like a cool grandpa or carpenter who's gonna make you, because I'm gonna have a carpenter friend of mine make me rockets out of wood using this design. So we have wood ones that the kids can paint or color on, and we're gonna do it as a more of a program. Oriental Trading Company sells these pulley rockets. I have the link there. They're roughly $1 a piece. I think it's a dozen for $12.99. Yeah.
Do they come with a string? Or
They do. They come. So I brought them here.
Like what kind of string is it? Like really?
No, it's just like this thread, regular string. Yeah. So here you go. This is what it is. You color it. There's some pulley beads at the end. There's some straws. You could totally make this. So please come up and look at this and write it down. Yes.
Bree, I just have a quick question
Sure.
about when you have these particular projects, are you promoting them and doing them as like a sign-up program? We are doing today a Pulley Rocket. Or is it
So
part of the
for this one, signups don't work for my community, so we're kind of chill, and so they don't really work for us, and so here, you can go play with this. Okay, go deep, have fun. For something like this where I make an investment in capital, like when I pay for stuff, I have it as an actual program. So like I'll be like, let's make Pulley Rockets, we're gonna do Pulley races, and I'll make it like an hour-long program. Maybe we'll read a book about rockets, depending on the age I wanna market it towards. You know, I might have extensions. Some of these, I might do blast off story time. And this is the craft that we make. I'm recycling this. We had PBS come. PBS will show free screenings at your library. We had a Curious George Day, and they brought videos to do Curious George, and they just require that you make a craft with the kids, and oh, look, I got on their website and made a craft. So I could also have this as a passive program. I'm pretty free and loose. I figure if kids are little and scissors are still like I'm gonna stab myself with them, they should have a parent with them who knows that about that kid. But, you know, this could be something that I could see some 9-year-old girls who come to the library by themselves making like a fantastic pink rocket with glitter and feathers. And I would have those materials out. So at this level, I would have it as a program. I would advertise it in my summer reading brochure. On this day, at this time, we will be doing this. Now, if I have extra, because programs, I don't know if anyone else's programs bomb sometimes, but if I have extra, I would totally recycle that or leave it out. Or put it into the hand of a kid who I know that they would love to do this at home. Yeah, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so Pulley toys are pretty old-fashioned, but they're fun, and they're something that kids might not have seen. So everything comes around again, and it might be something fun. Yeah. And if you don't do it this year, save it next year, because what's coming up next year? Space. Yeah. Okay. So can you move me to the next slide, or is that? Okay. So out of this world option, build your own rocket. What fun is that? You got enough cardboard in your library to probably. And yeah, you're like, what the heck are these? Okay, it's not dangerous. So cardboard, kids, lots of stuff, and voila, instant fun program. But how do I do this without kids impaling themselves with scissors? Because I don't know about you, but this is what I get. Like, and oh no, and I've cut myself. Oh no. Okay, so how do I do this? You need this. This is a magical tool. If you do anything with cardboard with kids, you need this. Look, I am really going at my hand with this.
Who's ever seen this before? This is why I'm up here trying to step
Last time Bree talked about it, that's the only time.
Is it like a
Yeah.
bonding program?
Okay,
It is, but it isn't. Look.
this is a Dan Chan cardboard cutting knife. Available for $6.50 on Amazon. They are from Japan. They are ceramic coated blades. Okay, I'm really going for this. Okay. Okay. This is yeah. I have seen the light. Now, would I put this in a hand of someone Tilda's age? No. They could still really. I mean, it's not sharp, but yeah. Okay. But would I put this in the hands of a third grader? Yes. Okay, I showed this to the 6th grade science teacher at school who builds cardboard pneumatic hands with the kids every year, and he's been for years suffering with scissors. And I was like, you just need some of these, and he's like, oh, never. And he's like, this has changed my life. You know, this guy has been teaching for 38 years at our school, and I saw like the little twinkle in his eye when he looked at me after seeing this. So, you can cut circles, you can cut, you know, letters, you can do all kinds of things. I'll leave these up here. I have 6 for my library. I'm counting these before. Okay. This revolutionized the way I looked at cardboard in my library. And then now, I don't hate cardboard anymore. So I have a love affair with cardboard, again, with my Dan Chin knife. Now, I say here, you still have to be careful. Okay, I talk to the kids about safety and being foolish. My children hate the word foolish because I'm always like, Dad, this word foolish. And they're just like, we did a cardboard building night with parents. I had a dad, I don't know how he did it, somehow cut off the end of his finger.
Oh,
Come on.
With Dan Chan. And Dan Chan has never hurt me like he has hurt him. And so I asked him, what did you do? You know, as he's like, and there's like blood and everywhere, and he's like, we have to go. I'm like, what did you do? And he goes, I was being foolish. So I don't know what he did, and he still won't admit it. But I think he was really, really foolish or something. Like, I'm going to prove her wrong, and I guess he did. So these are not without, you know, you're cutting cardboard. Okay? But these are great. When I have those teen helpers that someone talked about, teen volunteers, they like helping the little kids when they have a tool that is not frustrating. So you have a teen partner helping a younger kid or a group of younger kids. This is great. It gives them power, and they feel like really cool using it because you let them use a knife. But it's safe-ish. Okay, so now do you just say go? Go do it. No, you need to think of the engineering design process, which I get from Engineering is Elementary. If you don't know about Engineering is Elementary, they have great projects. It's EIE.org. I always want to say EIEO, but it's EIE.org. It's at the Museum of Science in Boston. And we talk a lot about drawing your design before you build it. So here we were just building something. And this girl really, you can't see it in the picture, but she has a heart here. She really, really wanted to incorporate a heart in the design of her car. It was vitally important to her. She was obsessed with this heart. And you can see that in the end, she made a car that has a really big heart right there. It was intentional design, and she was 4 years old at the time. But it was designed to final product. And that's exactly what engineers do. And she was so proud of herself to say, look, this is what I wanted to do, and I did it. And do you see how nice that heart is cut out? And Dan Chan did that. Yeah. Okay.
Is that your side, John?
The rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should
I
be.
hope you got those for free, but
No, I didn't. I had to pay for them just like everyone else. Okay, so, okay, here's one on theme. You know, we do have to talk about music, I guess, and sound. This book was Caldecott Honor Book, The Noisy Paint Box. I don't know if anyone knows this book. I think it was a JLG selection at some point. It's about the founder, one of the founders of the abstract art movement, Kandinsky. And it was really interesting, you know, as most great artists do, he was a little off. Instead of like really seeing colors, he heard them. Like that tone of pink had one note, and red had a different, and blue played in his mind a different way. And so he always talked about playing symphonies. You know, his painting wasn't a painting, it was a symphony of sounds. And so, depending on what age you want to market this program to, it could be a story time, it could be older kids, we're going to learn, we're going to look at some of his paintings, and then we're going to do some painting ourselves. So there's a wide range in the school age that you could do. Put on some classical music. I use Pandora on my iPad, and occasionally we hear a commercial from Lowe's or whatever, but you know, you put on some classical music and let the kids paint what they hear. Okay, just like Kandinsky did. He kind of heard and then painted. But I did this for one of our story times, and it was one of the calmest story times we ever had. And it involved paint. It's also, the illustrations are done by Mary Grand Prix, which you might know from Harry Potter. And so it looks kind of Harry Pottery. Yes?
Can you open the book?
Oh, sure. Oh, okay. Beautiful, you know, full color. It is nonfiction. It's biography, and see here it's like boring, you know, like everyone's making him do what he has to, and then he gets a paint box, and then he's like, oh, I can hear the colors, and you know, and he's like making all those connections, and he's so excited, like, Mom, Dad, the colors, they're speaking, and his parents are like, you're weird, and then he painted some pictures, and they were different than everyone else, and everyone's like, oh, those are different, and his mom encouraged him, and no one else did, and he grew up, and he kind of was like, did the established thing, was a lawyer, but then the colors kept calling to him, and he joined some other artists, and he painted, and look at all those great words, rattle, rush, clang, zip, munch, all those sounds. And people were like, oh, now you're great, you founded abstract art. So if you've seen these paintings that look like that, then you think he's wonderful, and it has the paintings in the back, and it has resources and websites that you could go look at. And there's some inspiring quotes and sources in the back. I could hear the hiss of the colors as they mingled. It was one of his quotes. So it's a really lovely book, and if you want to go to the next picture, you can see it in practice. Yeah, we're painting. I mean, you can see future Kandinskys all around, really calm, and they really got the kind of like strokes that he used, and I felt really like, wow, giving these rural Vermont kids in my one-person library exposure to art and to music, and it just felt really like empowering to me and to them, and everyone really had a good time. It doesn't look like a tree or a cow or whatever they usually paint. It kind of broadened their horizons. And I could see doing this with the very young, but also with elementary and middle school, depending on how far you wanted to take it.
Bree, did you have paint aprons for them?
What?
Did you have aprons, paint aprons, so they can get it from all over the pit?
No.
Clothes.
I don't know what kinds of kids you have in Barry, but us Westford kids, you can get paint on your clothes.
Well, the kids don't care, the parents do.
You know, roll up your sleeves and buy washable paint. That's
Yeah.
that's what we. Yeah, no one really.
Do you have tarps?
No.
No tarps?
No, if we're not doing a Jackson Pollock, we're doing Kandinsky, you know, so I did do Jackson Pollock, and we went outside with tarps, you know, and we did that Action Jackson and all of that book. I do have wipes, though, because I have a couple of kids who have sensitivity issues. They don't like things on their hands, so we never finger paint, we never spread glue with fingers. They have some serious sensitivities to things being on their hands. So I always have wipes right there, and I try and put the box of wipes next to the kids that I know it bothers. And so I've gotten to the point where they're just comfortable wiping their hands, which the parents are like, whoa, they never would attempt painting at home. But this environment frees them up a little bit, and they just wipe their hands. Yes?
Finger paint or brush paint?
Brush paint. You could use finger paint. It's just not a go with my current crop of kids, because I have 2 kids that are really sensitive to touch with their hands.
Tempera, is that what you use?
Yeah, it's just poster. It's paint from the basement. I inherited, 70 years of art supplies, so it's just that. It's paint from the basement and just poster paint, tempera paint, cheap paint. And that's what my budget has. Okay. So I was also brainstorming some other things, and I'm sure you guys have been doing this too. I think it'd be fun to make wind chimes with the kids, a variety of materials, stuff with sunglasses, I don't know, do-it-yourself bandanas, rock stars wear the bandanas, musical instrument building we've talked about a lot, musical parade or a sing-along, and of course you could always learn to play the guitar, but I won't because I'm not musical, and that's why I think outside the rocks. So I think that is it. Okay.
Thank you.